A close reading of the Scriptures, especially during this week, the Holy Week, will tell us very clearly that women understood the passion and death of Jesus Christ, while men did not. You will find that we have Jesus in a condition of trauma here. If you read very carefully, the trauma will reach a peak in the Garden of Gethsemane. And there the men who are there will fall asleep while Jesus is going through this extraordinary experience of trauma. You will find that here, as Jesus anticipates his death, he goes to the home of Martha and Mary. He goes to a place where he can somehow feel secure and be consoled. Read the sequence. And here you have Mary, who understood his trauma and anointed him with the oil, while Judas and the other men had no idea of the depth of the passion and trauma that Jesus was going through. You'll find this right through the Scriptures. If you read on and say, who is it that stands at the foot of the cross? When Jesus is crucified, it was the women and the beloved disciple, whoever the beloved disciple was. We're not sure who he was, or she, but it's women who are there at the foot of the cross. And after Jesus is buried, who is it that goes back to the tomb to visit the burial place of Jesus? Mary Magdalene and her companion. It's the women. It's very important to keep that in mind, because it's very clear that the Scriptures are written by men for men. And therefore, with the patriarchal culture in which these Scriptures are born and given to us, there is a very distinct character which overlooks the critical presence of women in the life of Jesus, and how the women understood, connected with Jesus, while the men did not connect. And that's very important to keep in mind. I'm not making a statement for the women. I'm making a statement about the truth which appears here in the last week of Jesus' life. And it's a good thing to keep in mind, because somehow we need to engage that side of us that is compassionate and relational and connected in order to understand the journey of this last week in the life of Christ. And we'll go through this. I'll talk more about this at the end of the week, on Friday and on Sunday, how we have to somehow summon something deep inside of us that's relational. It's not just exegetical, where we're reading the Scripture and we understand the Greek or we understand this. It's a connection. It's to connect with the person of Jesus Christ, to somehow have this right brain to be compassionate and walk through the journey with Jesus Christ, and somehow find the presence of Jesus suffering, dying, and rising in our own lives. We'll go through that later in the week. But this is a good introduction for us here to begin to understand that the call of the gospel is to connect with the person of Jesus Christ, especially during this Holy Week. We pause now for a moment of prayer.